Welcome everyone to this third lecture of States of Matter. Myself, Varad Daoo. I am a doctoral student at the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Kanpur. And in the previous class, we have seen about the various intermolecular forces. We have studied about the dispersion forces, the dipole-dipole forces, the dipole-induced dipole forces, and hydrogen bonding. Right? So in this class, we are going to study about, we are going to delve deeper into these intermolecular forces versus the thermal energy of the three states of matter. Then we are also going to study about what is boiling point and what is melting point. And we are also study about other properties such as what is pressure, what is surface tension. So we are going to describe about that, right? So let us begin. Topic is lecture 3, states of matter. The first thing which we are going to study is about the thermal energy. The thermal energy is the energy of a body due to the motion or movement of its atoms or molecule. It is directly proportional to the temperature of the substance, and it is measure of average kinetic energy of the particle of the matter, and is therefore responsible for the movement of particle. This movement of particle, therefore, is also called as thermal motion, and this thermal motion is the motion which keeps the molecule apart. So, what is the definition? Thermal energy is the energy of the body due to its motion, movement of its atoms or molecules. It is directly proportional to the temperature of the substance, right? And it is a measure of average kinetic energy of the particles. Average kinetic energy of the particles of the matter, and is therefore responsible for the movement of particle. This movement of particle is therefore also called as thermal motion, and this is the motion which keeps the molecules apart. This movement of particles is also called as it keeps the molecules apart. Okay, guys. Intermolecular forces versus thermal energy of three states of matter. So a substance may exist in any of the three states of matter, that is solid, liquid or gas, depending upon the conditions of temperature and pressure. This we have already seen. According to the particle concept of matter, all matter consists of tiny particles, right, which are constantly moving in all the directions. These particles exert attractive forces upon one another and are called as intermolecular forces. And these intermolecular forces are quite strong in solid than those in liquids and are very negligible in gases. The three states of matter arises due to the competition between molecular interaction energy, which keeps the molecule together, and the thermal energy, which moves the molecule apart. The competition between molecular interaction energy and thermal energy determines whether a given substance under given condition is a gas, liquid or solid. So we should write this down. The three states of matter arises due to the competition between molecular interaction energy, which keeps the molecule together, and the thermal energy, which moves the molecule apart. The competition between molecular interaction energy and thermal energy determines whether a given substance under given condition is a gas or a liquid or a solid. Right? So this is very important. In gases, the molecules have weakest molecular interaction, and their thermal motions are manifested as random translatory motions of the particle. Therefore, the molecules in gases can move at random direction. We should write this. In gases, the molecules have molecular interactions, and their thermal motions are manifested as random translatory movements of the particles. Therefore, the molecules in the gases can move in all directions with high speed. Whereas in solids, what is going to happen is the intermolecular forces are going to be very strong. Therefore, the molecules in the solid have no translatory motion and can only oscillate with respect to their equilibrium position. Therefore, the solids can only have vibratory motion, are very strong. Therefore, the molecules in the solid have no translatory motion, and can only oscillate with respect to their equilibrium positions. Therefore, the solids can only perform vibratory motion. In liquids, the arrangement is in between solids and gases. So molecular interaction energy decreases from solid to liquid gases, right? In liquids, the arrangement is in between solid and gases. Molecular interaction energy decreases solids to gases. When two molecules are far apart, they move freely independent of each other. At a given temperature and pressure, when the molecules come closer, the molecular interactions start operating. The average speed of the molecule of a gas increases with temperature, and their motion becomes more random. On the other hand, in solids, the net forces between the molecules are attractive forces. When the molecules are forced to come very close, the forces become repulsive. Moreover, the molecules in the solid with relatively low thermal motion cannot overcome the attractive forces and cannot move independently. Right? However, on heating, the thermal motion increases and the solid melts. What we have in here is this: when the two molecules are far apart, they move freely independent of each other at a given temperature and pressure. When the molecules come closer, the molecular interactions start off. The average speed of the molecule of the gas increases with temperature of a molecule of gas increases, increasing temperature, right? And their position becomes more random, and their motion becomes, on the other end, the net force between the molecules are attractive forces. Moreover, the molecules in the solid with relatively low thermal motion, molecules in solid with relatively low thermal motion cannot overcome the attractive forces and cannot move independently. Right? However, on heating, the thermal motion increases and solid melts. In liquid state, there is a balance between the attractive intermolecular forces and thermal motion. The molecules can have translatory motion but cannot become completely free like gases. As a result, the molecules can break away from one another and get attracted while approaching other molecules. In liquid state, there is a balance: attractive forces, attractive intermolecular forces, thermal motion. The molecules can have transitory motion but cannot become completely free like gases. As a result, the molecules can break away from one another and get attracted while approaching other molecules. In solids and liquids, molecule cannot be pushed together by external pressure because the intermolecular forces become repulsive at short distances between the molecules. Therefore, the solids and liquid cannot be easily compressed. In solids and liquids, molecules cannot be pushed. Molecules cannot be pushed together by an external pressure because the intermolecular forces become repulsive at small distances, right, between the molecules. Therefore, the solids and liquids cannot be easily compressed. Therefore, only small changes in volume occur in their interconversion from solid to liquid and vice versa on their interconversion from solid to liquid and vice versa. The breaking and making of bonds between the molecules in liquid state gives its non-rigid structure, and this explains as to why liquids do not have any definite shape, although they have definite attractive interaction energy between the molecules. And making of bonds between molecules gives it non-rigid structure. This explains liquids do not have any definite shape, although they have definite attractive interaction energy between the molecules. In gases, however, the average distance between the molecules are larger and hence the molecular interactions are weak. For gases like hydrogen and oxygen, these forces may be neglected at high temperature and low pressure. The repulsive forces operate only when molecules collide directly. In gases, there are large empty spaces between the molecules, and these can be readily compressed when pressure is applied. Hence, the gases are highly compressible, unlike solids and liquid. Gases do not liquefy on compression only, although the molecules come very close to each other and the intermolecular forces become maximum. However, when the thermal energy of the molecules is reduced by lowering the temperature, the gases can be very easily liquefied. Thus, we may conclude that predominance of molecular interaction results into change of gases to liquids to solid state, while predominance of thermal energy results in the change of solids to liquids to gas. So what we write in gases, the average distance between the molecules are large, and hence the molecular interactions are weak. For gases like hydrogen and oxygen, these forces may be neglected at high temperature, low pressure. The repulsive forces operate only when the molecules collide directly. When the molecules collide directly. In gases, there are large empty spaces between the molecules, and these can be readily compressed when pressure is applied. Hence, gases are highly compressible, unlike liquids and solids. Gases do not liquefy on compression only, although molecules come very close to each other, and the intermolecular forces become maximum. However, when thermal energy of the molecule is reduced by lowering the temperature, the gases can be very easily liquefied. Right? Thus, we may conclude predominance of molecular interaction result into change of gases to liquid, solid state, while predominance of thermal energy results into change of solids to gases. Right? So we can make a figure which could be like this. So here we have a gas. So we have to convert to liquid, solid. So then we go in this direction. What is going to happen is molecular interaction energy is going to increase. Intermolecular interactions. Whereas when we want to go the reverse way, then we end up with thermal energy, right? Predominance of thermal energy. Now let us define what is melting point and boiling point. When a solid is heated, it melts to form a liquid, and the temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid is called as a melting point. On further heating, a liquid changes to vapor, and the temperature at which a liquid changes to vapor is known as boiling point. Let us assume that we have this ice, which is a solid. It can get converted if we heat or cool, gets converted into water, which is a liquid. When we heat water or cool vapor, what we get is steam, which is gas phase, right? Hence, what we can say is when a solid is heated, it melts to form liquid, and the temperature at which a solid melts to become liquid is called as its melting point. Whereas on further heating, a liquid changes to vapor, and the temperature at which a liquid changes to vapor is called as boiling point. Let us now understand the general characteristics of gases. So let us do. The first point what we are going to talk about is the gaseous state is characterized by the following properties, right? So first is shape and size, shape and volume. Sorry. So gases, let me use a different color for this. Shape and volume. Gases neither has definite shape nor definite volume, and they assume the volume and shape of the container. Definite shape, definite volume. They assume volume and shape of the container. Compressibility. So gases can be compressed by application of external forces, right? Application of external pressure. And the third point is homogeneous nature. Gases have similar composition in all parts and are therefore homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous nature. Gases have similar composition in all parts and are therefore homogeneous in nature. Fourth is density. Gases have much lower density than the solids and liquid. Solids and pressure. Gases exert pressure equally in all directions. Next is liquefaction. Gases can be liquefied. Gases can be liquefied by cooling and by applying pressure. Can be liquefied by cooling and by applying pressure. Next is diffusion. Gases intermix readily and completely in all proportions without any mechanical aid. Readily and completely all proportions in the mechanical aid. Of the three states of matter, the gaseous state is the simplest and shows greatest uniformity in the behavior. The behavior of gases can be expressed by certain quantitative relationship between mass, pressure, volume, and temperature, and these laws are called as gas laws. So before studying this, let us establish some units. So measurement of mass. So unit of mass. So this is property and its unit. So this is a property, and this is going to be unit. The unit of mass is going to be kg or mole per kg. Second is volume. Unit of volume is going to be what? 1 ml equal to 1 centimeter cube, and 1 liter is equal to 10 to the power 3 centimeter cube, or 1 decimeter cube is going to be, for example, this is equal to 1 decimeter cube, which is equal to 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube. Hence what we can say is 1 meter cube is equal to 10 raised to power 3 decimeter cube, which is equal to 10 raised to power 6 centimeter cube, right? So the now comes the pressure. The third is pressure, and the units of pressure. There are it may be noted. So there are various units of pressure, right? So 1 atmosphere is a temperature exerted by atmosphere, right? So this is nothing but 76.0 centimeter of mercury, right? Also known as CMHG, which is nothing but 760 millimeter of mercury, which is nothing but mm of Hg, which is nothing but 760 torr. So it may be, so what we have is, we have a, so these are the conditions of pressure. Then further, what pressure is that 1 atmosphere is also going to be equal to 1.01325 bar, which is nothing but 1.01325 10 raised to power 5 Pascal, which is nothing but 101.35325 kilopascal. And also from this we can find 1 atmosphere is nothing but, or 1 bar is equals to 0.987. Now the next would be the temperature property. Here is going to be property, here unit. So here we are going to have temperature. So we have 3 units of temperature, right? So temperature in degree Celsius plus 273.15 is nothing but temperature in Kelvin. And then now we are going to study about the STP. What is STP? This is standard condition of pressure and temperature. So STP is nothing but, at STP what we have is also called as STP or NTP. Temperature is going to be 0 degree centigrade, which is nothing but 273.15 Kelvin, and pressure is going to be 1 atmosphere, which is nothing but 760 of Hg, which is nothing but 760 torr, which is nothing but 101.325 kilopascal. STP denotes 0 degree Kelvin temperature and 1 atmosphere pressure. How? So with this, I end this I end this lecture, and I hope you have learned in this lecture and enjoyed a lot. So in the next class, we are going to study about various gas laws, which are Boyle's law, Charles' law, and Avogadro's law. We are going to study the relationship. Thank you for attending this class, and I hope to see you again in the next class. Okay, thank you.